Hey everybody, it's Blake,
And this is Drew.
and you're listening to Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Controllers podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 91 of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Controllers. We hope everybody enjoyed our last episode with our guest Texican. We had a great time talking to him. We've had a lot of fun playing games with him and everything too. So if you haven't already, go check out all his internet stuff, you should call it. It's all in the links or in the previous episode, so go get involved with all of that. And we're going to get involved with all of our stuff too, so I want to go into all our social stuff here in just a second. For this episode, we're going to have 2 games and I think a TV show this time. So we're going back to our normal format. Before we'll be doing the different format next week too, because next week we're going to do another one of our co-op endeavors episodes with our cousin Brian. So next week will be another strange one. But before all of that, let me run through where we are on the internet, and we'll get to the interesting part of the podcast after that. If you want to keep track of the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Of course, that's all the normal internet stuff. We do have a Discord that you can drop into and actually talk to us or talk about the podcast or anything you want to put in there. Our main thing besides the podcast itself is our Twitch channel. We've been doing a bunch of co-op stuff with our cousin Brian, who also edits the podcast. We call that 3 Smoking Controllers Co-op Endeavors. We are currently playing the Division 2, which is us just going around capping fools. It's been a lot more fun than Monster Hunter. We weren't somehow, for some reason, we weren't enjoying Monster Hunter Rise as a group. It just wasn't our jam, I guess. But we are, as far as I know, we're all enjoying the Division 2. So come follow us on there and follow us on the socials, because I post when we go live there. And then if you hang out for all our streams and stuff like that, we eventually, like we're doing next time, we're doing a episode where we talk about our adventures in whichever co-op endeavor we were doing. So I forget which one's next for that podcast next time, but it's coming up soon. We have a Patreon, like anybody who creates content on the internet. It's really just there to support the work we put into the podcast and pay for Devious.Pixel when we get new art, like we did for our Texican episode. So there's always that there. If you get the Patreon, you get the episode a week early, unedited, before Brian gets his grubby little hands on it. And if you want, we will let people, because we have really long, stupid names for our podcast, which is a joke for me and Blake only. But if you think it's funny and want to name an episode, you can do that if you're a Patreon. So get up in there, help us support this podcast. We're on Spotify for 2 things. One, the actual podcast itself is on Spotify. We're, I guess, technically our distributor now. They bought who we were distributing from, so we're owned by Spotify. But the Spotify also has our music playlist. I'm not adding to it this week, but I do put every song that I've ever played on the podcast is all in one place on a playlist on Spotify. So when you search the podcast name, both should come up there, so you can follow that little Spotify playlist. In the background now, you should be hearing some sort of background music of one of our just a couple of songs we have. If you want to hear your music on the podcast, submit it to our email address at the number 2 smokingcontrollers@gmail.com, and we'll drop that in there for you. I'm trying to not be too picky about it, as long as it ain't something crazy with a lot of cursing or something in it. But we'll play your music on here and give you a shout out. We have a store where you can buy anything with all our little logos on it. We have stuff with the main logo and stuff with the Co-op Endeavors logo. I need to get on there and make just random things, or just shirts and stuff with all the different guest logos. I think people might like that. So I need to maybe get some guest logo shirts on there. I need to get up on there and do that sometime soon. you have to like put the shirts together and drop the art. You have to like create it. People know who are making shirts. You got to like put it together to get it in the store. So there's that. As I mentioned before, we have the email. It's 2smokingcontrollers@gmail.com. I always say the number 2 because it's not the word 2, but it's got people can be confused. I wonder if anybody's emailed us and tried to write out the number 2, smokingcontrollers@gmail.com. That's a really long email address that doesn't exist. It's just the number 2. I made it really early and it looks dumb now, but you got to stick with it because all our podcast stuff is tied to it. We have another podcast that's piggybacking off of this one. It's a full movie review podcast with Blake and our good buddy Steve. They do deep spoilery dives into the movies, the behind the scenes, how it's made, the creators and the actors, and then the plots and everything else. Everything it's about the movie is discussed on that podcast. It comes out sometimes opposite this one, but it comes out as often as we can try to get it out there. So if you want to hear Blake talk more about movies and more detailed about movies, there's always that podcast. So look that up. That's Action, the movie podcast @gmail.com. Whoops. That's the email for that podcast too. I do this for the other podcast too, so it all gets tied together. The last thing, of course, is Blake's short story he published on Amazon. You can find it by searching They Come This Night. It'll pop up right away. We appreciate anybody buying and reading and reviewing that. That helps Blake's little algorithm on the Amazon things. Links to all this stuff can be found in the show notes here. So if you don't feel like typing out our long podcast name everywhere you on the internet, just go on there and click on the little links and give us little follows wherever you can and keep track of what we're doing with the podcast. We post when we sometimes post when we record, but I mostly post when we're going to go live, and I post when the episodes and stuff like that come out. And you can write into on any of those things if you want to have your voice or opinion heard about the stuff we talk about on the podcast. So with that, I'm going to stop talking for a minute and let Blake intro our first of our 2 games, and we're going to get through this bad boy.
The first game we'll be covering is called Telling Lies. It originally came out August 23rd, 2019, and it is an FMV desktop thriller. And I'll explain what that means here shortly. It is developed primarily by a gentleman named Sam Barlow, who has, since then, he's created his own studio called Half Mermaid. He himself has been in the video game industry for a while, though he's only made by himself the 2 games, which is Her Story and this. And they both have a fairly similar game mechanic of where you're going through FMV, full motion video, live action videos, and you're detecting keywords and reviewing keywords and fast forwarding and rewinding in through videos.
I got a question. When did you do your notes for this?
A little while ago.
Back when we did it, because on the other podcast, Get Played, Nick Weiger was talking about immortality. You have that on there?
I have it wrote on here, but I don't.
Immortality actually sounds a lot like all his games when you're scrubbing through footage. Yeah. Immortality's on Game Pass right now. And I didn't know if that had even come out when you had done back when you had done your notes. We ain't got to get into Immortality if you don't got. No, Immortality is another game. Sort of like these 2 games where you're scrubbing through footage. He always does he likes using he's an FMV guy. He likes using real actors and real stuff and crap and stuff like that. So if you're interested in Her Story, which was relatively famous, Telling Lies, which I don't think had any notoriety behind it, but if you like what this guy does, then there is a new game called Immortality. If Blake's notes come before the release of that, I think it came out pretty recently on Game Pass.
Yeah, both. This one and Her Story were developed by him. This had a little help from another company called Furious Bee.
Okay, cool.
But they really only did the mobile version.
Yeah,
it's kind of what they helped with.
That's weird because Her Story is mostly a mobile game. You would think you wouldn't need help there.
Well, not yet, but I guess this is bigger. This is console, so.
Maybe you developed console first this time.
Maybe. But Immortality did come out last year, 2022, and it was the first one developed under the Half Mermaid moniker.
Oh, very cool. he has a thing he likes to do.
Yeah. But besides that, he's actually been involved in the gaming industry for quite a while. Mm-hmm. He was the, what do you call it, creative director, lead director, as well for Silent Hill Origins and Silent Hill Shattered Memories.
Wow.
He was
I think I played one of those back in the day. I think I might have played Origins way back when. Those are the PSP games.
I think so. Yes.
PSP games. Yeah. I think they got ported.
Yeah.
Eventually. But anyway,
he was also attached to Serious Sam 3 and 4. Those ones. He was attached to the Ghost Rider video game. That's no one really cares about those. What do you call them? Intellectual property games.
Yeah.
Whatever you're going to call them. He was attached to the Legacy of Kain remake, Dead Sun, before it was canceled. In reference to that, he cited both David Cronenberg's The Fly and Paul Schneider's Cat People on what a reboot should do when re-envisioning the story, and he was going to use them as references for rebooting Dead Sun, Legacy of Kain series, but it just never came to fruition. They canceled it before it could come out.
Yeah, been cool to see a modern Soul Reaver or Legacy of Kain game, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And if I didn't say it before, Sam Barlow is one man until he got half mermaid.
You sure he's just one man?
He's just one dude, and he's based out of Britain.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
And
if anybody knows, her story was quite a little phenomenon for a while. So that's kind of probably where he got a lot of work in the industry, but really made a name for himself with her story, I feel like. Which I haven't played, but my wife has. I got her to download it on the iPad, and she clicked and poked her way all the way through that game. And we talked about it a little bit. I've heard about it on other podcasts too, including like Get Played and stuff like that. I've heard about it a couple of times. Maybe on Kain and Rinse? I don't know.
A little background on the game, what kind of led to him doing this, because he wanted to do another thing like her story, but wanted to do something different, maybe more intense,
kind of bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So her story is, if you don't know, is entirely one person. There's one actress.
Yeah. So what he did is he was kind of just going through a bunch of like archival research and video recording research, and he stumbled across an article, or fairly recent article actually. It was from at least 2008 to 2004 to 2012, but it wasn't reported on until 2014. So let me clarify that. All right, it went from the period of 2008 to 2012 as far as they know.
The footage that he had.
No, this is something else. Okay. Bear with me. And so it wasn't even reported on until 2014. But he found something called Optic Nerve, which is a video recording program that was put out by MI5, which is the British Secret Service, or Secret Service, or whatever. They're a British agency. And basically, it was only supposed to be for 6 months, but they found documentation from 2008 to 2012, where they were doing a unsolicited, involuntary recording of anyone who owned a Yahoo webcam. The government did. And it supposedly in just the first 6 months, it ended up being 108 million images, because they were just they weren't fully recording, but they were taking images. And once it came out that they were doing that, they got found out, and they're like, yeah, we couldn't. It ended up being like 11% of the photos they took were pornographic.
Yeah, I love that. But I'm surprised that percentage is so low.
Yeah, but some of it also they had to immediately announce, because some of it ended up being kids and stuff. And they're like, we don't want to get in trouble. We're not doing it secretly. We're just trying to, like, it was like it was supposed to be like a terrorist thing to help monitor terrorism and try to do that. But the shotgun blast was mostly.
What did they think was going to happen?
I don't know. They're stupid. But they didn't tell anybody until 2014.
After they scrubbed all the child porn out of there.
After they did everything. And so it's kind of a crazy thing. It's supposed to be an experiment in facial recognition technology and stuff like that to do all these things. But it was only specifically through Yahoo webcams, which I thought was a strange thing to target, because who uses Yahoo webcam?
Yeah, I'm sure Yahoo was involved.
Yeah.
And got a paycheck, a government paycheck of some sort to allow it.
But I just thought that was something kind of crazy that was worth noting.
Yeah. That's where you got the idea for the game.
Yeah, that's really... as I said earlier, this is an FMV game. Full motion video, where he used real actors and everything. The main 4 people that he used...
Yeah, we can't
I'm
dive into all 4 of these characters.
I'm going to plow through them fairly quickly. We have Logan Marshall Green, who I don't remember the episode, but an episode of a movie I've recommended called Upgrade. He's the main dude in that, as well as he's got himself quite a few other things. He was in Prometheus. He was in The Invitation.
Was it Prometheus?
Mm-hmm.
Was it The Invitation? Mm-hmm. I watched Invitation. It wasn't very good.
Yeah, and he also has a big role in 24, the TV show 24 back in the day. Yeah, because I'm not going to do a deep dive in it. Boom, just there you go. And he plays our main character David.
Well, it's an ensemble. I think it's an ensemble cast.
It's following his story,
more or less. Yeah, he's in a lot of the videos.
Yeah, so he's David. Mm-hmm. Then we have Alexandra Shipp, who is one of the female leads, and she plays Ava. And just real quick, probably one of the bigger things she's been in is she is in the recent iterations of X-Men, Futures Past, Apocalypse, and Dark Phoenix. She was actually, maybe it's just been Apocalypse. It was Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix, but she was Storm. And she went on to, and later she would portray Aaliyah in the Aaliyah biopic that would come out. Then we have Carrie Bish. She is from *Halt and Catch Fire*, which is that AMC show about like creating the internet and stuff like that. She's a main role for, I think she appears in every episode of that. This is kind of cool. She would also go on to appear only in the final season of Scrubs, but she would take over as narrator and stuff like that as JD's like intro intern.
Yeah, what an awful job to have.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You gotta be taking that job being like, well, I'm doing this once.
Not knowing that hoping that it's going to go again.
Yeah,
but
no. There's just no freaking way that, it didn't, obviously. It died immediately, but what a terrible responsibility and job to have.
Only in the final season, yeah. Without, even the creator of the show had left at that point, so.
Yeah.
She was also in that Ben Affleck movie Argo, which she won like a award or something for it, too.
Neato.
Then our final one is a lady named Angela. Carrie Bish plays Emma. And then we have Angela Serafin, who plays Max, and she is kind of on the up and up right now. Her big thing right now is Westworld. She's appeared in all 4 seasons of that.
Did Westworld end recently?
I don't know. I do want to watch it, but I have not seen it.
So screwy with your head.
Yeah, she's also in, we'll just say that, because that'll be just a big thing so people know we're in.
Okay.
And so our story follows, basically, David is an FBI agent who is going undercover into an eco-terrorist group, eco-terrorist/domestic terrorist group, because their actions are escalating to that point where they need to be shut down because they're endangering people. Mm-hmm. Now, Ava is his entry point into there. He has to he's this person he has to get with to get into the I forget what the name of the terrorist group. Now, Emma, played by Carrie Bish, is his wife, and they have a daughter together named Alba.
A real wife.
His actual wife. And then he has Max, who is his therapist / camera girl, who's the only person who's willing to talk to him later on in the story. Without ruining too much of the story.
Yeah, because it's this whole thing is story. We want to say too much about what's going on. I think you more or less want to talk about how you get through the game a little bit, and because this whole thing, we might say a few things accidentally that kind of. I think we might be able to say something without spoiling, but explaining how the game works, because we won't talk about this too much because it's really just like a story experience that you got to get all the way through. And I want to say before we get into this is the first game that I've played entirely through the cloud.
No, you played on like a laptop or
I played on the laptop that I'm recording right now. I wanted because the game is set up like you're at a laptop clicking on videos. I was like, cool. I could not figure out if it's possible to. I wanted to cloud it on Xbox because it was on Game Pass and you can cloud stream. And I wanted to play it on my laptop with a freaking mouse and type, because you got to click and type things, and it won't. I can't. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe somebody can tell me how to make. I mean, you can Google it, but I was trying to I wanted to play a computer game with my mouse, and it wouldn't let me. But I ended up clouding it anyway because I had it on my laptop, so I was able to with a controller and move a freaking mouse around on my controller. I guess as I was click on stuff, but I was still able to type on the computer, type out the words.
That's good. I was had to
manually type it on your.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that sucks.
It was a little longer.
So anyways, that's very just to say it's interesting to be the first game that I played through the entirely start to finish through the cloud.
Like we said, it's a desktop thriller. The reason it's a desktop is you're through some other FBI agent who's reviewing the footage afterwards to try to figure out what happened and why. And so as you're going through the footage, basically every scene is broke down from anywhere from like a 30 seconds to 5 minutes. There's some of them are a little long and kind of pointless. Now, there's some interactions with his daughter Alba, which I probably, after like the first two, I started skipping through because it has nothing to do with the overall story. It's just him being a dad, which is, it's character building, but then some of the other decisions he's making, you end up not liking him.
Yeah, he's not written to be liked.
Yeah.
So what's confusing about this is each video is one side of a conversation, which makes this kind of hard to cope with. I feel like, I don't know how her story plays, but I found this to be awkward and what's the other word? Awkward and kind of draining to be like listen to like somebody. So like when you're clicking on the videos, you're watching through a webcam. You're watching, say, him have a conversation with somebody, and he stops talking as the other person talks, but you don't hear their talking. But eventually, you'll find the other side of that video, but you don't know when you'll find the other side of that video.
Yeah.
And it's cool, and I get it, but like. Be like an hour later, I'm like, oh, here's the other half of that conversation from earlier.
Or sometimes I wouldn't even remember. I'm just kind of like going. By the end of it, I was just kind of like, no, go ahead and just say what you're going to say. And it got to the point where, like, because there's other characters that appear besides the main four.
His boss, yeah. I'm sorry you mentioned his boss. We like the actor who plays his boss.
Yeah, but he's only in like 3 of the scenes, I think. He's not.
A couple of them. He yells at him a couple of times.
Yeah, and then there's like his wife's mom appears in a couple of.
She randomly has dementia.
Yeah, they're still throwing some extra drama for no reason. So I would start skipping her scenes a little bit. You can't skip them; you have to fast forward through them. Because I would make sure I watched every video, because how it works is you do have to hear or listen for certain keywords to be said, because you are going into a search bar and typing in either the word David or Alba or FBI or
gun.
Yeah, you're typing in,
and it pulls up every video, or the top 5 or top 3.
I think it's top 5.
The top 5 where
that word is mentioned in context.
Word is mentioned in context, which is kind of a really cool system, and I don't know how he programmed that to kind of work specifically. Because you can stop, you can pause, but I didn't, which I would have liked to do. Which I think is the way you're supposed to play it, is like with subtitles, and you're supposed to have a mouse, and then you highlight a word and click on it, and you search one videos based off that word, based on the screen. I couldn't play it that way.
Keyword select, because would it highlight the word automatically, or did you have to highlight it?
I think you had to highlight the word, and you highlight it and click on it, and it automatically gives you the next batch based off that word. I couldn't play that way.
Yeah. Like I said, it felt a little long. My game time was a little under...
Hold on up.
I got the 1K, and it was in a little under 8 hours.
Gosh. Mine's no way mine's that long. Mine's always shorter than yours. Was kind of following a loose TA guide for this, I feel like. Where are we?
Oh, yeah, we followed a TA guide.
8 hours?
I said 8 hours.
Mine says 9 hours and 43 minutes.
Maybe I gave... Well, I think you warned me in advance to skip Alba stuff.
Oh, I did listen to a lot more stuff than you did, yeah.
You told me to skip Alba stuff, and you warned me.
I was like, you gotta listen. You gotta, like, start skipping some of these people talking.
Plus, I think because you were also playing on your... You struggled early on, try to do it on your laptop and stuff like that.
Figure out how to make it work right, yeah. But I got it figured out. But
you did tell me to go ahead and skip some folk, because you're like, it doesn't have any bearing on the actual story.
It's way too long. Yeah. And then there's lots of good acting.
Oh, the acting is phenomenal.
And the story is actually not bad. Like, I think we're gonna say, but I think I was somewhat surprised on how it ended.
The ending threw me. I was like, whoa. I wrote it down. I was like, maybe I'll talk about it, but
let's not talk about the ending. It's like
the ending's like probably the best part. It's so messed up, and then he himself is like the acting for Logan Marshall Green has to do for David is crazy.
Because you got to watch him like lie to his wife. The game's called Telling Lies. He has to lie to his wife, lie to his fake girlfriend, lie to this other random. We talked about the other actress who plays. She's not really
Max.
She's not really a therapist. She's
a cam girl.
She's a cam girl that he kind of unloads some of his drama onto. And there's more to that too. So he has to tell lies to her. He has to tell lies to his boss. I guess the key part of telling lies is him.
Yeah,
he's the guy
he's the
lying,
linchpin.
and he lies to his daughter, like he has to lie to, and you're just watching like, man, this guy sucks, but like it's like it's this position he put himself in with this job. Mm-hmm. But he does do a great job. And he was, if anybody, we mentioned on the podcast, if you haven't watched Upgrade, like he's phenomenal in Upgrade. He's so funny and just entertaining, and there's a lot of movement jokes, a lot of physical jokes in that. Acting in that movie too that require him to be really good at that. But he is awesome in this. Like I think he does. I mean, everybody's pretty good, but he has the. I guess you're right. He is like the key role. I don't know why I didn't think that earlier. He's like the key face for the whole thing.
It was episode 31 where I talked about Upgrade.
Oh, you found it? Okay. Yeah.
Like I say, it's a heavily story driven game that some of it's pointless and some of it's really. Like I said, it's a thriller. Some thrillers aren't always for everybody, especially like political. Is this even political?
This is like the thrillers you have to put together too, out of order.
Yeah,
I also mentioned that when you click on you have a word and you search the video and you hit play on the video plays from at the point the word is said.
Yeah.
If you want to watch and give context for the whole conversation, you have to rewind every time. And I had to Google how to start a video from the beginning, which is really annoying and doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So if you play this,
I never got it to work.
I got it to work like half the time. So Google if you play this, Google how to start a video from the beginning. I think watching it the way it gives it to you would be insane.
Yeah.
I don't know why it doesn't start the videos from the beginning. Because you just hear the word out of context.
They literally start you in the sentence that they say the word. Or actually, they might start you on the word. Like if you search for the word gun, he's like, my gun. Actually, he says like, gun is loaded. Like you come in like halfway through the sentence. So you have to rewind each and every video. And some of them, like the rewind's kind of quick, but not fast enough.
Yeah, you have like an 8-minute video and he says your word in the last minute. It makes you rewind the entire thing.
Yeah.
There's like a weird button press you can do to like it'll jump back to the beginning. But when it doesn't work and when it fails, like when it doesn't work, the button, like the weird button press, I can't remember how to do it now. Mm-hmm. The weird button press you got to do fails and you're stuck holding sitting there. That's why I was thinking the game was almost 10 hours long. I'm rewinding, spinning.
It should literally just be like you could watch the video and then like press Y to start from the beginning or some crap.
Yeah, it's such an easy fix. Just press a button to watch from the beginning, or just have the video start from the beginning.
Yeah, and say like at the bottom of the video, be like word comes in at this time marker or something. So if you don't want to watch the whole video, but I don't know. Like we're saying a little like
it's a complicated way to get through a story that I kind of liked. Mostly liked in the end of the whole thing. And I mean, I'd rather just watched a movie about this. Oh yeah,
probably. Yeah, this was a lot of input.
Yeah, it was a lot of work to put into a story to just kind of like to enjoyed it, but kind of like. You just get to where like I'm glad this is over, or when is this going to be over?
Yeah,
and you kind of have when you're playing, you have no context of when it's going to be over, because sometimes you'll watch a video that's way deep into the process, and you're like, it might get close to the end, and you watch a video that's him talking to his daughter like a week into the freaking FBI stuff, and you're just like,
he's like, well, Daddy's about to have to go on an assignment. He's going to be gone for a while.
You get a lot of mixed videos too, of varying degrees of his wife being mad at him or not mad at him.
Oh yeah.
So your emotion roller coaster of this is all over the place because you're watching it out of order. Because his real wife's not always mad at him. His fake girlfriend's not always mad at him. So you get like this weird roller coaster of what's going on. Which maybe it's how you're intended to experience it, but it kind of makes it kind of hard to cope with.
Again, I don't want to say too much more about it other than I did enjoy it, but it is a little long-winded.
Yeah. I don't know how quickly I'll be jumping on. Well, if Immortality's on Game Pass, we only play Game Pass stuff when it's leaving Game Pass.
Yeah,
not a Game Pass podcast. So whenever Immortality leaves, I guess we'll give that a shot too. But we've actually talked about a couple of other more straightforward FMV games on this podcast, and I actually bought a couple of cheap ones. There's a lot now. There's like a
resurgence,
like
almost.
a FMV renaissance or something like that.
And most of them are being put out by Annapurna Interactive, this one included.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's just a publisher.
They're the publisher, but still.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Are you ready to move on?
Yeah, kind of, because this is so story-driven. If we talk about individual scenes and stuff like that, we're going to get really into...
like territory.
Like spoiling everything. And you don't want to like go into this kind of knowing too much of what's happening.
Yeah.
I feel like. I would say... I guess it's worth playing.
It's worth playing, but you definitely want to have a guide to minimize the amount of time. And maybe some people like the whole.
some people you're intended to play it to look for the words yourself. We had a keyword, kind of a keyword guide. Like look for these words and then look for the words. It's like type in this word, watch the videos. Type in this word, watch the videos. Which was a boring way, I guess, to play it, but I don't see how far different that is from being completely lost. Imagine I spent 10 hours with a guide. If I couldn't figure out which word I needed,
yeah,
it'd be insane.
This is normally a $20 game, $19.99. And that seems fairly reasonable. I mean, like I said, you spent 10 hours with a guide. Without a guide, you could spend a lot of time in there, the mystery. So, I mean, it's not badly priced, horribly priced. But anyway, you ready to go ahead and move on to our...
Yeah, our next game is actually another game. Man, we got to have a name for episodes where all we play is Game Pass stuff, but we're actually not. I guess I could just say not a Game Pass podcast episode. This was on Game Pass and then left Game Pass. It's a co-op game that we played without Brian, but don't tell Brian we did that.
Yeah, he's a nerd. We don't always like hanging out with him.
It's only a 2-player co-op. That's kind of why that happened. And it was weirdly only couch co-op, which was strange. But
I thought that was very strange.
Yeah, pointlessly only couch co-op. But anyway, let's get into our next game.
The next game we're talking about is called Young Souls. So it originally came out August 17th, 2021 on the Google Stadia. And then a little less than a year later, March 10th, 2022, it came out on everything else.
Yeah, after they killed the Stadia.
Basically, yes. Now, it is developed by 1-player, 2-player studios out of, I'm just going to say France, because I don't want to mispronounce the word, out of France. And so far, they've made just 2 games. This one and another one called Inside My Radio. And Inside My Radio is fairly similar to, I think that game Thomas Was Here. It's a side-scrolling platform where you're a block hopping across platforms. Is that
really? Yeah, that's Thomas Was Alone. They just straight copy that game.
But it's to like a beat. It's got some music to it.
Inside My Radio. Oh, my kids played that game. I've seen that game.
Inside My Radio?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the whole... Oh, that's weird you say that. That's the same company?
It's the same company as Young Souls, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a random game.
They did that first and then did Young Souls.
Yeah, on PS4, like the whole game's thumping to a beat and you slide around. And the guy's... It's not just he's a blob. He's like wearing headphones and has a face.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. I've seen that game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play that game. It looked off. It looked like not fun, but he enjoyed it for a little while. But yeah. Oh, that's weird.
That is kind of cool, though.
Would not pair them two games together by the same developer.
Stuff happens. It's a side-scroller hack and slash, right?
This is, yeah.
It's not 2.5. It's just side-scroller, right? You do slightly go into forward and background.
Yeah, it's not full 2.5.
But no,
yeah,
so
it's not like Little Nightmares or anything. It's kind of more of a... I would say it's more 2D.
Yeah, it's a side-scrolling hack and slash where you play as twins, Tristan and Jen. And it's, from previous episodes, you guys have heard me talk about Troll Hunter. It's very Troll Hunter-y. But instead of trolls, you're hunting goblins. And there's a whole Undercity and all this other fun stuff.
I feel like, I don't know, I could be wrong, but there's like this trend now of putting the word souls in the title of your game. I think in an effort to get people to click on your game. Yeah. Because of the popularity of Dark Souls.
There's no reason.
There's nothing to do with souls.
No.
In this game at all.
Like, you're 2 young kids, and you were adopted by a doctor/scientist in the town you're in, and there's no... Like, there's a mystery as to where the kids came from, sort of. They're like, oh, yeah, we don't know where we came from. But it's not actually mentioned anywhere.
That's not... I'm just saying, that's like this weird trend that it's annoying. Like, if I put souls in my game, people will click on it. Like,
yeah, and that would give them... It's like a hotkey keyword to try to get people to
keyword these days.
Get and look at my stuff. Anyway, like we said, the combat's... It's just hack and slash, but it does have some decent depth based on how heavy and how light your character is. You actually have a speed gauge and a weight gauge, and that can determine quite a few things: how fast you swing your weapon and how fast you actually move across the screen. Drew went for a heavy build. I think you used a big old. By the end of it, you're using that big old. I guess was that a Zanbakuto? Basically, that giant sword with a giant attached to a staff in your heavy armor.
I feel like I was changing stuff all the time.
Yeah, and then I was using like ninja robes and dual wielding.
Yeah.
These dual wielding weapons for high DPS, and it was fun. Like the only thing that kind of sucks is because it was couch co-op. Even though I was logged in, I didn't get any achievements.
Yeah, so lame.
Now, I did turn it on my own and got like a few, of course. I was like, okay, well, if we play through it, maybe I can play through it on my own and before it left Game Pass. But then I decided not to because it was just going to be a whole lot of work for something I'd already done. Mm-hmm. Did you get your time? We didn't get the 1K in this, did we? Because there was a difficulty thing.
Yeah, we got 8.5 hours. The TA is 6 to 8, but like I don't know where but because we tried to play a little bit more because we tried to do like a new game plus. There's 2 difficulty achievements that we didn't get. So I got every achievement with the 2 difficulty achievements, which in hindsight
we probably could have.
We should have just played on the harder because the game has ways. Oh, there's accessibility. Well, we have to remember that there's lots of accessibility features. Including like auto block, which was key. So we should have played if we played our first playthrough on the highest difficulty, you just played through the game one time. Yeah. The game is a little longer than we thought it was going to be, maybe a little bit. The game drags. We might have got all. I might have got all the achievements, but I wasn't. When we started playing again a little bit, we were gonna like sprint through it and skip the dialogue, but it kind of was just like, okay, this is too tedious. We've already done all this. We didn't do it, so I did not get all the achievements, but all of them but 2.
It's got a nice cartoony graphic style to like a Saturday morning Cartoon Network show or like a mid-2000s Cartoon Network show. I like the art. I like the art quite a bit.
With these kind of cool looking cutscene things in the beginning, but then it kind of stops doing them.
They do it near like the end, or they rehash the ones from the beginning and just elongate them.
It sounds like a little frame story or something.
It's definitely a frame story. Yeah, I do kind of like the look of it. We should say we don't like the characters. I liked him a little better by the end, but for the majority of the time, I didn't much care for him because there's this whole thing. Well, okay, randomly, one of the accessibility features, because it's called Young Souls, because I guess they expect teenagers and some younger kids to play it because it's colorful and actiony. And one of the accessibility features is to turn off cussing. But at certain points, some of your dialogue choices are like it's the F word. And it's not censored. It's straight up the F word. So I'm like, what's the point of censoring the cussing if you don't censor all of it, or why even bother? But what it is a bunch of they're teenagers, like 14, 16, something like that. And there is, I guess it's like, I know kids cuss. I cussed when I was a kid. It didn't bother me none. But just the way they were doing it, it's like they didn't know how to use cuss words properly.
Yeah, the writing is so bad.
The writing was not great.
It's just like cussing for the sake of cuss. It's like HBO cussing or Game of Thrones cussing. It's
you just drop an F-bomb
cussing
just because.
Cussing for the sake of cussing. And it's just like, this sucks.
Yeah,
this is annoying. I hate these characters because this is like, it was like the dude that was a brother and a sister. It was like the brother's personality.
It was his sister.
That was him that did all the cussing.
Sure, I thought the sister did all the cussing because she was more dominating than domineering.
It was him, wasn't it?
I'm
pretty sure it was him because it's just like it was like his entire personality was cussing for the sake of cussing.
Yeah, so
like that's a horrible writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just like, this sucks.
Gameplay is fun, and some of the story is fun.
Yeah, but playing it, having these people as your main characters was not good.
Yeah, it was a big eye roll. Being a super moody teenager, and on top of that, there's a couple of like almost pointless features in the game. Like there's a dual money system. You had human money and goblin money. Goblin money is,
I don't mind that though.
Not really, but goblin money is how you upgraded your weapons and your accessories. And human money, it lets you buy sneakers and clothing. Clothing was just
cosmetic.
It is purely cosmetic, but it didn't really serve a purpose because when you run through the dungeon, you're wearing your armor.
It was cosmetic.
Yeah, but it was only available. You can only look at it when you're in town.
Well, it was under your armor, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but you were wearing was under. I mean, it's still there, sort of.
Yeah, it just seemed kind of
just didn't do anything.
Yeah, and the sneakers had a bunch of abilities. It was like pick up money, extra experience.
I don't know why the sneakers had magic, but the other clothes didn't. I guess because there was a goblin working at the sneaker store.
Yeah, so it was strange, but meh. And then, like I said earlier, you get some accessories. Do you remember which one you used? There's like 6 of them. There's a bomb, a grapple hook, a slowdown clock.
I'll probably use the grapple hook actually.
And I used the bow from almost the get go. It's like the first one you get, and I used it the entire game. It was
I think I used the grapple hook the whole game.
Pretty awesome. It does have a day-night cycle, sort of, because you only go do goblin stuff at nighttime.
Yeah.
And during the daytime, so you do all the city stuff. But in the city stuff, it's literally like, oh, go to the shop, go home, and sleep until nighttime. And then, like, so it was like barely, like, what's the point of having a day-night cycle just for funsies, I guess?
Mm-hmm. But the main crux of the game is I guess it is dungeon crawling. You do gotta go in these little dungeons under there's all this whole little underground goblin dungeons. I forget what they're called.
It's just like the goblin, the Underdark or the
Underdark. That's Troll Hunters.
Yeah.
These developers clearly had seen Troll Hunters.
Underdark is Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, I think they only called this besides wanting souls, they called it Young Souls because they could not call it Troll Hunters because
They could have called it Goblin Hunters because it's all you're doing is
Troll Hunters was swearing.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about 2 of the most annoying things in the game. Besides the kids and their pointless cussing, I could tolerate that because, again, I remember being a moody teenager and cussing for the sake of cussing. But as you're running through the dungeon, it has traps that are just obnoxious. Like, they weren't necessary.
I think the traps are what kind of annoyed us too much on the...
Because they would kill us.
They would kill us, yeah.
They would do so much damage. The traps just irked me so bad. And then a part near the end of the game where you have to go on a whole... It was fluff. It was just extra fluff. You had to go on a whole extra dungeon crawl, like multi-floor dungeon crawl, to get these things called spectral weapons that let you hurt ghosts. So you could do
So you could run through one level with ghosts.
Yeah. So you could run through literally one floor of the labyrinth, the goblin dungeons, but it was a one-hit kill for you and enemies, and that was a little rough, including the boss. The boss was also a one. Was he? Yeah, I think the boss was a one-hit thing, but he had all this magic and crap. The combat was itself fun, and we would go to town on some people because you had like a special little like twin attack that lets you like warp to one another and you could combo people. The combat was the shining part. Combat was actually surprisingly good, and with the accessories and everything. And once the kids mature a little bit, the story did get better because they stopped the pointless cussing as much. But that wasn't until like literally the back 10%.
Kids didn't change at all.
Yeah,
it's looping back around. It's like frame rate. He was annoying in the beginning, and it loops back around him being annoying anyway.
Yeah, and then after you move past the point in the frame story, that's when they've matured a little bit. But it's also literally the end of the game. It's like the last chapter of the game.
Yeah, I don't remember them being any less annoying.
There's also a way to level up, which you could only do at nighttime when you went to sleep. Go into that stupid happy gym. I'm like, just let me level up, man. I don't want to do a mini game to level up.
Well, you level up regularly, don't you? And the gym was like bonuses.
Was it bonuses?
The gym was bonuses.
Okay, the bonus. Yeah, I guess that makes more sense. It's been a minute.
You get these little gym tokens, and in the daytime you go to the gym, play one of these 3 mini games to raise one of those 3 stats. It's just button mashing mini games like pedaling on a bike, lifting weights, and what was the other one? Squats. Which
there's an achievement for getting a perfect, and blessed be that was probably the hardest thing in the game. Was trying to do one of those stupid things. Yeah. I didn't even get it.
You didn't get none of the achievements. Guess we should play it all again from on your profile.
Maybe.
No, we're never going to do that.
No.
Like I said earlier, I think I got sidetracked, but I said the dungeon stuff is okay. You have a little dungeon map, and you kind of go from area to area, and you get to do like side parts that lead to treasure chests, lead to more equipment, and you get keys. There's varying degrees of keys that you can. I think you get
gold, silver, and bronze.
Yeah, I think some of them are all of them optional, or do you need something to get through the game?
I think there's like the first one. I think is necessary for the game, but everything else is optional.
Yeah, I feel like maybe.
There's that. And there's also those dungeons where you fight the ancient goblin queen or ancient goblin gladiator, and her ghost would teach you a new technique or something. The mausoleums.
Yeah, the mausoleum. I thought she just gave you items.
You had to go through her trial.
Yeah, just beat the heck out of her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we weren't having a hard time. We did turn on like all the accessibility features. Oh yeah, me and Blake are big babies.
Big babies. We played on easy and turned on accessibility. That's how big a babies we is.
Yeah, we're not playing this to have a hard time, and especially if accessibility features don't affect achievements, which is a growing trend, which we appreciate.
Because it's the thing, people are like, we just want people to play our games.
Yeah,
you know.
people who whine about there's still people who whine about accessibility. Optional.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where I get where they're coming from. They're like, you beat the hardest boss in the game on easy with all of the accessibility features on. I beat it on the highest difficulty, but there's no difference. And I was like, and it's not something I care about. It's a video game, dude.
Yeah, relax.
Chill.
At least I got to play through the whole game.
Yeah, I got to play the game and I had fun.
I think what accessibility does is make sure folks get to experience somebody's entire game.
It makes it more accessible. it's the word. But anyway,
we had auto block, which you probably get a lot of that game just with auto block because it was kind of on point. We raised our damage or lower the enemy damage. I don't remember all the features. We weren't invincible.
No, we could still die.
You could still die, but like it took a little bit of doing. I don't know.
Yeah. Normally, this game goes for $25.
Yeah,
that seems a little much, especially considering the fact that this game would have been severely improved if it had, I don't know, voice acting.
It has some, doesn't it?
It didn't have any, did it? I don't remember any. I remember like wow, 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 just that stuff when the goblins would talk. That was it. There was no actual voice acting as far as I can remember. I don't think there was any voice acting, but it would have helped because some of these goblins, especially the goblin boss, like I say, by the end of it though, I did feel kind of bad for some of the goblins.
Well, I
like the goblin.
We've talked about this before. You seem like the bad guys in this.
Yes, you do. You definitely seem like, yeah, the goblins are coming up from from underground to try to like take over this city, but it seems like they're retaking land that we took from them because they were put underground. And then by the end of it, like I definitely felt like the aggressor, and I was like, I feel more sympathy for the goblins than I do these kids.
Yeah, these kids suck, and we're like kicking down doors and murdering all their people.
Yeah.
What was the other game we played with like this?
Remnant.
Remnant from the Ashes, which Remnant 2 is coming out. You play Remnant, you kind of feel like you're the bad guy in large, not in all the levels, but more in the swampy parts.
Swamp part, like, and going to that Mars planet, the desert planet. You're just there kicking these people out of their what do you call them?
Pueblos. Really running around their little villages, little tree villages, and just murdering all their people.
And the satyrs, and the swamp people. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what I felt like here.
Yeah, like we were literally just kicking the doors in and murdering you and your family.
And there's some like heartfelt moments, like when you kill this person that these goblins that bicker the whole time. You end up killing one of them, and they're like, "She's dead, but she's supposed to be alive. I need someone to hate for the rest of eternity." And he gets like so mad, and he's responsible for the ghost stuff because he tries to bring her back to life using ghost magic and ends up backfiring and turning him into a ghost. But still, like it was like that's like really heartfelt and kind of cool and sad. But I felt
it was just more interesting because the kids were just like, "We're here to kill, blah blah blah, murder, murder, murder." Yeah, and that was their thing. And occasionally talking about their guardian they're trying to rescue, but mostly the kid. One boy was a cussing braggart, I guess, or maybe it was the sister. They're so interchangeable, they're twins, but like one of them was the cussing braggart, and the other one kind of was not as bad. But like, so how are you supposed to connect with these characters when they're annoying and you're going around murdering all these? Like a lot of it seems like murder.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
There's only one moment where the cussing was kind of funny, and that was that'll be probably the last thing I say about it, and then we can move on. But near the beginning of the game, you're going to meet the mayor or something, and the secretary was like, "Oh, he has an open door policy. Go right on in." And as soon as you walk inside, the mayor yells at you and tells you to get out of his office. And you walk out, and your character looks at her. He's like, "Hey, you're a bitch." And that was like the only time where I laughed at it. Other than that, it was just kind of like, just a big sigh and eye roll. But meh. The game was not awful, and it's got couch co-op, which is a dying thing nowadays for some reason, and I don't understand why.
I'm not sure what other. I don't know what other. I thought there was another couch. Oh, we haven't bought it yet, but they did it to when they re-released Dark Alliance 1 and 2. So whenever we end up buying and playing those again, which I really want to,
but it's only between you and me.
Yeah. They didn't attach online to that, which we played that couch co-op back in the day anyway. Hopefully get achievements. The main thing to do with couch co-op is make sure the other profile get freaking achievements.
Yeah. Well, see, nowadays, back in the day, we had like a 30-inch monitor. Now we have a sectional couch with an 85-inch TV that's wall-mounted. We can play some couch co-op. We got plenty of space, and it takes up the entire living room. I am ready to move on. If you are, do you got anything else you want to add?
I don't know. I feel like we kind of ran through that one kind of quickly. I think I hit all the points though.
I think I did, yeah, without like spoiling the story, and because other than the fact that we felt like we were the aggressors.
Yeah, and that's key when you're playing that game is pay attention. I think you're
read between read between the lines, get that subtext going. But we're the bad guys. Like they're coming in trying to take back what's theirs, and we're here to get our dad back, or our Dr. So and so, because you don't call him dad, and then you start murdering people, and they're like, they're killing everybody. What do we do? They literally start saying evacuate the women and children and stuff like that because you're a menace. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm ready to move on if you are too.
That's fine. Don't quote me on this, but as of the recording of this podcast, the game is on sale for $14.99.
That's not a bad price.
So, but again,
especially if you can play with somebody.
The time the episode comes out, that sale could be over. So sorry about that if you're interested. It was on Game Pass. It's not anymore. I don't know. I say I'm glad. I don't say I'm glad I played it because the game didn't add anything to my life really.
It's not a. It's a game that happened. Unfortunately, I will never. After this record, I will never think of it again. I don't think. Anyway,
that's that.
Sorry to speak so bad of people who put hard work in, because I haven't done anything. I've made a 17-page short story, so
a whole bunch of podcasts.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but
not a developer we'll have our eye on.
Especially because you play that, you are aware of the other game.
I looked at the other game.
So, moving on
to the last thing,
to our final thing, because I'm doing a double up to make up for Drew's double up of music last time. So I did a movie before our guest episode, and now I'm doing a TV show after our guest episode.
Kind of having a hard time pulling TV shows because we've had a lot of episodes now, and you've ran through the gambit of TV shows that you are like more like. Because we watch all the popular TV shows as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid.
We try to avoid the popular stuff on this podcast. So you've kind of almost like ran the gambit.
No, I can find some stuff.
This show's cool and all, but it seems kind of a stretch a little bit.
I mean, it's a show. It's a good show, and it's fine. So what I'm talking about Todd McFarlane's Spawn, the HBO animated series that ran from May 16th, 97 to May 28th, 99. It was 3 seasons, a total of 18 episodes. Now, a lot of times you can find this and it seems to be broken up and they just combined it and made it 3 movies as opposed to 3 seasons of a TV show. Because I have a steelbook of it and it's just 3 discs and it's each season and it plays it as a movie. And that's a little better, I think. Because they were 22 or half-hour episodes or something like that. There's HBO no commercials. I think it was like right at a half hour plus, or it's like 28 minutes plus the credits. Now, one kind of random cool thing is it ran, like I said, from 97 to 99, and it got occasional reruns on HBO. But one of the weirdest things is it actually got reruns on Cartoon Network's Toonami, but only in Japan, which I thought was strange considering, I mean, it is violent. It's HBO. It's violent. There's a little bit of nudity and language. It's not something that we would put on our TV show, but for some reason, but I thought that was kind of cool. And also another thing is it was doing well. It got canceled only because around the time HBO's live action stuff was getting more, it started popping off a little bit more, and they had been having cutbacks in their animation division to focus more on live action stuff. So it really only got canceled because they shrunk their animation department so much that they couldn't handle it anymore. And so it was softly canceled, quietly canceled.
It's stupid.
But when it got canceled in the last year, it said May 99, the Emmys that year, it won an Emmy for outstanding animation.
Okay. I'm not sure if I've ever actually watched this.
It's not bad. It's a lot. It's Spawn.
The problem is that there's so much Spawn content that just ends so early in the canon.
Oh God, yes, it ends very early in the canon of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me briefly talk about the gentleman who brought it to fruition, the gentleman who developed it. Now, of course, Todd McFarlane created Spawn, but the person who made it for TV is a gentleman named Alan B. McElroy. Now, he's primarily a writer, and he's written a plethora of things. It's kind of hard to nail him down, but one of the first things he ever wrote was Halloween 4. The Return of Michael Myers. Then it's this is actually really funny. So this show, season 1 ended June of 97. That's season 1 finale. Less than a month later, August 1997, the live-action Spawn movie came out, which he also wrote, starring Michael Jai White. I thought that was incredibly strange.
That movie get made because the movie get made because of the popularity of the HBO show, or is it not?
I don't think so. I think it was in making beforehand, because it's hard, because animation takes a while, and for that to come and making a movie takes a little bit too. Anywhere from, if you listen to our other podcast, Action, the movie podcast, you know that some movies are made literally in like 2 weeks, and other movies are made in literally 6 months to a year. It just depends. So I don't know how long they worked on that, but for them both to come out that close together after season 1 ends and that show began, for all I know, it could have started out as a promotional material, and they kept going.
I think that movie holds up too.
I think it does. I mean, it's a little silly, but it's still good. It's just really proper. And they're still working on making the reboot. Like, there's still like,
Todd's been fighting for it for decades now.
Because he wants to do it his, because if those who don't know, Todd McFarlane is very anti-Hollywood. Because they're like, oh, he's very anti, like, the elitist and stuff like that. He's like, let me just do my stuff and put it out there. But they keep, like, vetoing him and stuff like that. And so now he's kind of, like, biting the bullet. And he's kind of being a little more Hollywood now. Because he was going to direct it himself, but he's like, I don't think the producers and stuff in Hollywood would give us the money and stuff that we want if I say I'm making a movie about my own stuff. And so he's shopping around for a slightly bigger Hollywood director, and he is going to cast more like A-listers. Because as of right now, and it is confirmed, and Jamie Foxx has still said, he's like, oh yeah, I can't wait. He's like, but they're just trying to bang out a couple of details, but I will be Al Simmons' Spawn when it comes out. As of right now, that is still me, and that was like less than a year ago. And in March, Todd McFarlane was talking about he's shopping around for a director because he's decided he won't direct it because he's afraid Hollywood will fight back.
Insane.
Yeah, because he's very anti-Hollywood. Like, if you listen to his interviews and stuff, he's like, Hollywood's stupid. Everyone who works in this industry is retarded.
Yeah, well, it's obvious.
Yeah, but so whenever it comes out, I will be excited when it does come out.
Yeah, as long as they don't like Marvel-fy it.
They won't.
There's no
way. He's already said, he's like, this won't be the modern superhero. He's like, this will be Spawn all the way. Mm-hmm. And he's like, and that's another reason why they're fighting him on it. It's like, have you not read the comic book or seen the TV show or seen anything? Like, it's violent. It's everything. Yeah. But they're just stupid. But like I say, back to other stuff he's done. He also wrote the original Wrong Turn, as well as the 2021 semi-remake. He wrote both.
Yeah. I didn't watch the remake, but they're pseudo-related. Me and my wife watched all the whole Wrong Turn franchise. Mm-hmm. We just do this randomly. We just pick a horror franchise and just watch them all sometimes. And that some of those are better than others. I mean, and they're all completely different than the first movie. The first movie is way more normal and grounded as compared to the rest of them. It gets really, really wacky.
Oh yeah, but besides that, he's like I said earlier, it's hard to nail him down. I just said a bunch of like dark and horror things, but he's also responsible for the 2009 Tekken movie, as well as 72 episodes of a TV show called 7 Days, and it's a New Zealand game show, which I thought was incredibly strange. And then he would go on to direct a couple episodes of Vampire Diaries, and then another show called Night Shift, which is like a nighttime medical drama that ran for a couple seasons, like 45 episodes, and he wrote 10 of the 45. And then something else called Sacred Lies, and he wrote half the show.
I've never heard of any of this stuff.
Well, I think Sacred Lies, it was on some random network and then got bought by Peacock, and so it's on the Peacock network, and I think it's still going right now. They're working on a third season, and he's written 10 of the 20 episodes so far. And then he would go on to, I think his current thing he's working on is Star Trek Discovery. And like I said, he's involved in it. Star Trek Discovery only has 55 episodes so far, and he's written 17 of them. So when he does something,
that's big involvement.
Yeah, when he does something, he's in it. So I think that's pretty cool. That's why his roster wasn't huge, because when he does something, he doesn't until it's done or they don't want him anymore. But that being said, this unfortunately, I thought the show was great. It follows the comic book. It's gritty. It's dark like it's supposed to be. And it's awesome. I love the animation. It was really good, like really good 90s animation, like definitely by, what's his name, Tom McFarlane, heavily involved in it, of course, doing some of the stills and stuff like this needs to look like this, or he would draw like the final image. He's like, whatever you got to do, it needs to end like this and make it look like this. And so it was really good. Especially some of the stuff was ripped straight from the comic. Like they took stills and just animated them, and they were really good. I'm going to talk about one other person, and he's the voice actor for Spawn. And I love, 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 love this actor because this is a voice role. I'm not going to talk about any of his live action stuff. I'm only going to talk about his other voice roles and how much we enjoy him. I'm talking about Keith David. Fantastic voice actor. Of course, he's Al Simmons, always. Like I said, he has like over 300 or 400 roles. So it's impossible.
Yeah.
So I broke it down to strictly just voice acting roles, and even then I think I wrote down too many, so I probably won't touch all of them. But some big ones that people will know. Kind of one cool one is he in Princess and the Frog, the Disney movie Princess and the Frog. He is the main villain, Dr. Facilier. Dr. Facilier. He is also the voice of the cat in Coraline, which we've spoken about a couple of times, more recently on the Little Nightmares episode. And in Rick and Morty, which is pretty prominent, he is the president of the United States. He gets into battles all the time with Rick.
Haven't heard Keith David in Rick and Morty?
Yeah, he's the president. Have you seen the episode where Morty wants the president's autograph, and they have that huge epic battle in the White House, and you've seen it.
I don't remember that at all.
You've seen it. He's also the Flame King for a couple episodes in Adventure Time. Mm-hmm. He is the voice of Goliath in Gargoyles. Huge 90s show that I love, but I haven't seen it recently, but I think I still love it. It's a fantastically written show. And he would go on to do, this is actually kind of cool, he plays a character named Julius Little, but he also plays himself after that character dies in the Saints Row franchise. And I think at one point he was President Keith David. I think in the third one, before the main character takes over in 4. I love Keith David so very much. Speaking of him voicing Spawn, they did a cool thing in Mortal Kombat 11. Spawn is a playable character, and he revised the role. Reprised the role and did new voice work and everything for it, and it's awesome.
There's been a couple of other Spawn video games across the years. Surely he reprised the role for all that, yeah?
He is Spawn. No one else will ever be Spawn.
Except for Jamie Foxx.
And Michael Jai White. But that's live action. There's a difference. Because, I mean, as much as I love Keith David, he is an older gentleman. So I don't think maybe when he was young, he probably could have did it. It would have been awesome. But he's just got that deep, resonating voice. And the fact, like I said, Dr. Facilier in the Princess and the Frog, he does some song and dance numbers, and he does the singing for those as well. So he's a very, very talented actor.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Another episode we actually talked about Darksiders Genesis. It's a game we talked about way early on, like episode 28 or something like that. He's the voice of the main bad guy, Moloch. So I thought that was also worth mentioning. I'm not going to keep reading off his IMDb page, but he's fantastic. Oh, well, if you listened to last episode, you did hear us talk about Halo 5 Guardians, and he is the lead Arbiter.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. Arbiter Fel Vadum, however you pronounce it. I'm almost done. I'm just going to speak about one other character. She comes in season 3 of the show. She plays an angel named Jade, sent there to kill Al Simmons, and she is voiced by Ming-Na Wen, someone we also love, who is amazing. And you'll hear me, if you want to hear me talk more about Ming-Na Wen, you should go listen to our Action, the movie podcast episode, where we talk about Final Fantasy Spirits Within, because she voices the main actress in that, Aki Ross, Dr. Aki Ross. But with that, no, hold on. Okay, there's a tiny bit of controversy that happens. There's a mobster that they drew. He's in the comic book, and he's in the TV show as well. His name is Tony Twist, and he's a mobster who, like, he has like prostitutes making out on his couch while he's in a business suit ordering the kidnapping of a child. He's just a big, he's a mafioso. Now, his name is Tony Twist, and in 1989 to 1999, there is a hockey player for the NHL named Tony Twist, and he played for the St. Louis Blues and the Quebec Nordics. He would go on to successfully sue them, HBO, for defamation for using his name.
Even though he was in the comic?
Yeah. Well, they didn't. I don't think they named him after him, but the fact that the character's name was Tony Twist, and his name is Tony Twist, and it's just incredibly they to the point that they didn't use the character again, because I think that was in season 1, and they just didn't use him in season. He get killed off screen, and his second command took over because they were like, oh, let's just not deal with it. So same story, slightly different personality. I don't know how much. I think they just sued for defamation, and they made him stop using the name. I don't think he actually got a payout for it, because I don't think people are going to.
Who cares?
Apparently, that hockey player did. He's like, I'm a good guy. I don't want my name being associated with a mobster who is killing people and selling drugs and in prostitution. It just brings a bad name.
You mean a mobster who ain't real?
Yeah. Anyway, people are stupid sometimes.
All the time.
But that being said, it said it's HBO, so I'm sure you can find it on HBO Max and stuff. Mm-hmm. Can you confirm that real quick, Drew?
If it's from HBO, it's on HBO Max. They own it.
You'd think. Okay, you just want to make sure all 3 seasons are streaming on HBO. I just wanted to make sure, because you never know. But with that being said, I don't have anything else to add.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll wrap this thing up then. We're going to go see, speaking of movies, I want to date the podcast. We're going to go see Transformers after this podcast.
Beast Within.
Probably going to be another generic Transformers movie, but we'll see what happens. With that, I want to thank Jared Jones and the guys of Emerge for letting us have the song Letting Go from them to use as the intro for our podcast. That's awesome. And like I always say, it's debatably the best part of the podcast. So don't blame you if that's the only part you hear. I also want to thank Milad Markovic, a.k.a. Devious.Pixel, for the art we have for the podcast, including the new art we just had. For our previous guest, Texican. So go find Texican on all his socials and stuff like that too, and follow him and watch his Twitch streams. He's a pretty good guy. It's a lot of fun. I want to thank Brian for continuing to edit the podcast. We really appreciate that. It takes a load off my shoulders so I can edit the other podcast we have, Action, the movie podcast. Come to our streams. Follow us at twitch.tv/2spokencontrollers and come hang out when we stream all our co-op games with Brian. We've been having a lot of fun with the different games. Well, I say a lot of fun. We had some fun with Monster Hunter, but less fun than some other games in Monster Hunter. I think our next episode we're recording with that it's going to be kind of an awkward, because I guess our last one was Dark Souls. So our next one is we've talked about having 2 games on that episode, because we beat one game in 2 sittings, and then the next game wasn't good. So we'll talk about that and make fun of whoever picked that second game.
Mm-hmm. Whoever that could possibly be. So we'll never know.
Well, so anyway, thanks to everybody for all that same stuff. And with that, I'm done, and I'll let Blake wrap it up.
It's really hard to find taglines for TV shows. So I don't really have one, so I'm not going to worry about it. I want to wish everybody a good evening and good night.